Good.
Good evening, everyone. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we have roll call, please? Here.
Councilman Campbell? Present. Councilman Blunt?
Here.
Councilman Ruffin?
Here.
Councilman Boyd?
Here.
Thank you. So I make a motion to move an item up on the agenda for the police department.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. So our first item tonight is confirming a commitment for a agency that we have been involved in for the past 20 plus years. We regrettably received a letter from the Sheriff's Department stating that they wish to no longer be a part of the ERT that has been made up of the town of Carmel, the town of Kent, and the Putnam County Sheriffs. So we are going to accept their resignation from the agency, but confirm our commitment that we intend with Carmel to continue the ERT. Chief, do you have anything you want to add?
Really only want to add thank you for the support. We're looking forward to moving forward with Carmel PD and in the interest of public safety, keeping everybody safe out there.
Well, I think in our towns, shared services are just such an important aspect that we do, and this is like the ultimate shared service. Because
Exactly.
it keeps our residents safe. Carmel, Kent, and, you know, everyone working together benefits our residents.
Of
And
course, we were disappointed when we got the letter.
We hope they change their mind.
Exactly, moving forward, we
Yep.
look forward to working with them in the future. But right now, we want to make sure that everybody's safe and that we can continue to support the community.
Yes. And then we thank, you know, you and your team and Carmel and their team for continuing this.
Thank you for
So
helping
I'm
us
just-
out.
Thank you. Any public comment? No? Okay. Does someone want to read the resolution?
I'd like to make a motion to pass a resolution confirming the commitment to the Putnam County Multi-Agency ERT. Whereas on or about October 18th, 2006, the Town of Kent Police Department entered into a Memorandum of Understanding, MOU, an agreement between the Town of Kent Police Department and the Town of Carmel Police Department and the Putnam County Sheriff's Office to receive and extend assistance to each other in the form of Emergency Response Team, ERT, services and resources to one another when assistance is required, and whereas the ERT has been in operation since the execution of the MOU and agreement and has successfully provided essential services to each other during times of emergency, has obtained funding and grants for the dedicated use of the ERT, and has greatly inured to the benefit of all participating parties and their respective constituents. And whereas on or about December 4th, 2023, the Town of Kent received notification from the Putnam County Attorney's Office that due to administrative error by the County of Putnam, the Sheriff's Office must withdraw from the ERT. And whereas consistent with Section 6 of the agreement and MOU and the ERT shall remain in effect despite the withdrawal of a party, and the Town Board of the Town of Kent and the Kent Police Department desire to affirm their commitment to participation in the ERT. Now therefore be it resolved, the Town Board of the Town of Kent hereby affirms its commitment to the Memorandum of Understanding, the agreement, and the Putnam County Multi-Agency ERT. And be further resolved, the Town of Kent hereby accepts the withdrawal of the Putnam County Sheriff's Office with regret and with thanks for their service to the Putnam County Multi-Agency ERT, and be it further resolved that the supervisor and the chief of police are hereby authorized to execute any and all documents necessary to give effect to this resolution. And make this motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Our next item for the police is the Tyler New World MOA. Do you want to come up and just, I know we had talked about it and we weren't happy with some of the wording, I believe, last meeting.
Yeah, so while we're on the topic of shared services, this works out terrific. So within the last couple years, we've been searching for a new CAD system that tracks all the calls for the police department. The sheriff's office is doing the same thing. Over the last 20 years, we have shared with them a different system called Mobile Tech. we are entering into an agreement with them to have this system that we can see their calls, they can see our calls. It's all dispatched through the 911 center. And the agreement is in there. All it is saying is that we're going to pay our fair share over the next couple of years, which is actually less than what we were paying with the old company. So far, we've had the system maybe like 2 months. It's been live. It's worked fine. There are some glitches and a little bit of a learning curve, but it seems like it's going to be a very good system and help us moving forward.
Great.
All right?
Why does the annual maintenance fee go up so much from year 1 to year 2?
The first year we got a discount.
Okay. So that's minus the discount, it's going to remain close, right
Pretty
around.
close to that with a 3 to 5% increase
Increase
each year
for cost.
after that.
Okay.
And that was what the holdup was. The lawyers were trying to get the schedule of approximately what it was going to be.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Any other comments? Public comment?
Somebody else want to read this
Yeah,
one? Still catching my breath from the last one.
I make a motion to adopt a resolution to approve a memorandum of understanding with Putnam County. Whereas Putnam County entered into a license and service agreement with Tyler Technologies for a computer-aided dispatch/records management system, the software, hereinafter the Tyler agreement, and whereas the Tyler agreement permits the county to grant use of the software to affiliated organizations such as the town, and whereas the town wishes to enter into agreement with the county for use of the software by the Town of Kent Police Department, as further detailed in the memorandum of agreement annexed hereto and incorporated herein by reference, the MOA. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Kent hereby approves the MOA, including payment to the county of the annual maintenance fee in the amount of $25,000 for the first year, $30,000 for the second year, and be it further resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Kent authorizes the Town Supervisor to execute the attached MOA and any other documents necessary to give effect to this resolution in a form satisfactory to the Town Supervisor and the Town Attorney, and be it further resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Kent hereby approves and ratifies all acts heretofore taken by the Town Board, the Town Supervisor, and any all town officials in connection with the subject agreement. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion to add an item to the agenda.
Second?
All in, for an Eagle Scout project.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I invite Wade Spinelli to come up here and tell us about a project that he would like to do in the town of Kent.
I have a handout. Would you guys like that?
Yeah, that would be great, thanks.
Thank you. You wanna let the police talk?
Thank you.
Oh, they're good.
Yeah, you guys,
Thank you.
you all can go.
Oh, I got it.
Sorry, I wasn't able to email ahead. I had some problems with my email account. So I've been working with the Kent Library to start an Eagle Scout project where I'd build 2 lending libraries here in this plaza area. One would be by the playground and one would be behind the Kent Library. And these are kind of mailboxes that people can drop off books and take books from without a library card, after hours, any time of the day. And I'd like to get permission to build 2 of these. I was talking to the library board and they think this would be really helpful for everybody. And I would do all of the fundraising, and I'd have me and fellow scouts volunteer to build it so the town wouldn't have to pay anything. We would make sure that we didn't dig on any wires or pipes before we did do any construction. We use concrete to make sure these were long lasting. Materials are made out of recycled milk jugs and other materials, and they're waterproof, so it should last for a long time. And it shouldn't have any issues of weathering and falling apart.
Okay, couple questions. I'm looking at this picture. How is that recycled milk jugs? Is that plastic wood or something that's made out of?
Yeah, it's a
milk jugs?
plastic wood. It's made to
Okay.
look, it's called a composite material. They make it look like a wood, but it's plasticky. And it's not all recycled milk jugs. They just work it into parts of it, like the roof, I think.
Okay. Now, this doesn't show it on a post. Are those sitting on the
Yes.
ground the way they're shown in this picture, but you want to mount it up?
They would be on a post. It's like a thick wooden post, about 4.5 feet tall.
Okay, so they'll be up at, open up level to get the books
Yeah,
up?
like a
Have you ever
mailbox
seen
level.
I have not, but they look nice. I like them.
I've seen them in other towns, and I always love
They have one
them.
outside the Reed Memorial Library. Oh, they also have a website and an app that allows these to connect all over the world. They have hundreds of thousands of these libraries, and anyone with the app or website can locate them, and it can just show people that they can come and get books. So it reaches out to other people, and they have little plaques you can see in the picture that shows that. and you can like customize those to share information or describe like the area.
Okay. So what do you need from us tonight? A resolution?
I just need permission to build on town land because the playground, I believe, outside the library is considered town land. The library wanted to make sure I had permission before I did any construction.
And just so I can get it right, what was your name again?
Wade Spinelli.
Wade, can you spell your last name? Oh, never mind.
S-P-I-N-E-L-L.
All right. I'd like to make a motion to allow Wade Spinelli to move forward with his Eagle Scout project to install 2 lending libraries in the Town of Kent Library Complex. I make this motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks, Wade. Thank you. It was on the top of the page, too.
Oh, it was. Yeah, it was right on the top of the page. I wasn't even looking.
You failed reading.
I was too interested in the pictures. They were colored.
You need to get more books from those lending libraries.
Okay, now we can go back to the agenda as planned. All right, so yeah, Wade, you can go. You guys don't have to
You don't have
stay.
to stay. You can if you want, but it gets really interesting then.
Bye. Okay, so now we're gonna go back to the top of the agenda. I'm sorry, Richie. So our next item is highway. I invite our highway superintendent to come up because he has a bunch of items tonight.
Okay, good evening, everyone. A bunch of stuff here. Do you want me to just fire them off and then you vote on them?
Why don't we vote on them as we go through them?
Okay. All right. The first item, you were able to get it on the agenda with the stop sign?
So we do have.
This is the back of the
Very
packet.
last
Very
one.
last
thing.
Got it. All right.
All right, that was, we made a resolution as described in this proposed resolution. We put a stop sign at the intersection of Montrose and Echo last year, a very steep road. There's been a couple accidents there, nothing severe, but the residents in the area requested a double stop sign, which is basically, I didn't even know you could do this, but when you come up to an intersection, usually you have your stop sign on the right. You're legally allowed to have another stop sign on the left, facing in the same direction, because it's a Lake Carmel road, it's tight, and certain people have some fences, which is on their property, and people have to creep up to look around, and if people are getting a good head of steam coming down the hill, it could be a bad accident. So I thought I could just add the stop sign, being that there was a resolution already, but the council said that we should get this second one approved as well, just so it's in the record. And I'm not sure if anyone heard, there was an accident a few years ago in Dutchess County, and they just had a big lawsuit, and they got sued over a stop sign, and they lost the case for $6.5 million because they did not have a resolution backing a regulatory sign. So that's why it's important that I just don't go out and put these signs up. This way you have to vet it out. But anyway, I ask your permission to put the second stop sign up, same intersection, same direction, same bat channel.
You got a
Yeah,
public
public
question?
comment?
You gotta come up.
Are stop signs different sizes? Like, some stop signs are like huge, and then I see other ones that are really small.
There's a standard DOT
Okay.
stop sign. You'll see like in,
You know, it's a town road.
yeah. Yeah, it's got to have a reflective qualities and size for vision. You'll see them in the shopping centers. They have little ones that,
Right?
those are private property.
Okay.
Okay, next item was the
Wait, should we, do you want to vote on that? Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Let's
sorry.
vote on that just as we go along. That way it's a little easier. Is everyone okay with that?
Yeah. Make a motion to pass a resolution authorizing a stop sign at the intersection of Echo and Montrose Road, whereas by resolution dated March 21st, 2023, the Town Board of the Town of Kent authorized the Town Highway Superintendent to place a three-way stop at the intersection of Echo and Montrose for a provisional one-year period, whereas the Town of Kent Highway Superintendent has recommended that stop signs be placed on both the right and left side of the intersection approach in order to draw the driver's attention to the approaching stop, and whereas the town board wishes to follow the recommendation of the highway superintendent, now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorize that the provisional placement of the three-way stop signs at the above referenced locations for 1 year be amended to include the placement of the stop signs on both right and left side of the road. I make this motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, the next item, I'm not sure the sequence you have it, the 284 agreement. I'm supposed to hand one of these in every year. My intentions of what I want to pave and how much approximate money we have available. I have $200,000 in my regular summer fund, which basically just goes for maintenance, and I'm anticipating maybe $350,000 to $400,000 in CHIPS money, and I have about $280,000 left in the bond money from last year. So those are the figures I put down, and roads that I'm going to try to do. I can't be positive, but Gypsy Trail is, I wanted to get that done last year. That's primary on my list. That's got to be milled down to dirt and repaved. It hasn't been done since day one. And South Knapp Court off of 301, right opposite Sagamore, that's a nightmare, that road. So I'd like to get into South Knapp Court. My third one is Bowen Road. I've been trying to do that for several years, but Bowen Road is not as severe as those. And this northern half of East Boyd's Road is number 4. But besides that, I have to do a bunch of small roads in Lake Carmel. They're very small runs. And we're going to do those ourselves, but I didn't list all those yet. I have to go through and look at them again and see which are in worst condition, the worst condition. But I want to do a slew of small roads in Lake Carmel. Those are my intentions. Obviously, it changes every year. Last year with the July 9th storm, it changed the whole year for me. But those are my intentions. So you guys have to be apprised of you know.
So just, if you had to estimate that, Richie, how many lane miles is that you're anticipating to be able to get done with the leftover bond money and what you have in your CHIPS and budgeted this year?
I ballpark $150,000 a center lane mile. So we're probably talking somewhere between 7 to 10 miles of road.
Okay.
You know, we have 216. It depends if we got to do some widening or whatever, but I mean, it's approximately like 150,000. The milling brings more money into it, but when you do a full depth reclamation, you got to you go right down to the dirt, which I really have to do in some of these roads because they've had so many layers of blacktop. I do a core sample, they're like 15 inches thick of blacktop, and that's why people are bodying their cars out, trying to get in their driveways, because it's just put another Band-Aid on, so it's kind of the cycle that I got stuck with this stage.
Now, you did some prep work on Gypsy Trail already. You did some culverts and...
We did a lot of shoulder work, a lot of widening, down by the clubhouse where the county meets the town road. We're gonna move that stone wall back in. We have to widen out there because that's a bottleneck. And so we have a little bit more prep work to do there, and we did a lot of shoulder work in Gypsy Trail.
Okay.
So, I keep going off the 684 agreement, I can't.
Any other comments? Public comment? There is a resolution for
Is there? I can't.
this. There's a lot, I know.
All right. Make a motion for resolution approving Highway Law 284 agreement. Whereas Section 284 of the Highway Law provides that the town board and the town supervisor of highways shall enter into an agreement for the use of funds levied and collected for repair and improvement of highways. And whereas, consistent with the above referenced provision, the town board desires to enter into the 2024 agreement regarding the expenditure of highway funds, the agreement, in the form annexed hereto and incorporated herein by reference. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby approves the attached agreement and any documents necessary to give effect to this resolution. I make this motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, the next item, what do you guys have in your?
Do you want to do the items up for auction?
Okay, All right, the first one is auction off 3 expendable truck sanders. I have 3 sanders, stainless steel, 3 different types, a Smith spreader, Swenson, and a Harder spreader. They're all of no use anymore. The trucks they used to be on, we don't have them anymore. They've been sitting on top of one of the containers now for 6 or 7 years. They're still good, they just don't fit our trucks. And I just want to get some, money for them, some value, because I want to buy some different equipment. So I'm trying to get some revenue in. So I'd like to sell those 3 off on Auctions International, and I think we'll get some good money for them. There's always these little village and upstate highway departments, and they're a value to these guys because they can retrofit them. So that's that. Should I keep going?
Let me just see, because these came in late. Do you know if,
There are 6 items listed in this resolution for auction.
so 3, 4, 5, I just want to make sure we have them all.
You just named 3.
Which one?
There was 3 on this one memo,
Yeah. so-
Yeah.
and
3
then
Sanders.
So
We
then-
still got the
We have,
shaker,
Tyler Model
Truck crane.
RX-29.
Yep, so that's 5. And then I think Tyler had one as well. Or no, then there's the paver. Oh, no, they're both, okay, so they should all be on there.
Oh, I have them on different memos. That's-
Yeah, they're just in one
Right, but
resolution.
they're,
Oh,
you
okay.
talk about everything you want to auction off, and then we'll vote on it. if
Okay,
that
all right,
works.
so those are the 3
That-
truck sanders. The next item is the sieve shaker. It's a little piece of engineering equipment that it does gradation for materials. I think we bought it in 2015 or 16 for about $1,200. It's going brand new for $4,000 now. I don't need it. I used it for what I needed it for, and I can use any of the quarries has a sieve shaker if I need to test equipment. And the reason I used it was there was some sand that we were using that was clogging up all our sanders. There was too many fines in it, even though it passed the state code. And so we did our own tests, and we were using Harlem Valley sand. They had a grittier sand that had the same qualifications, and our sanders didn't bind up on it. So we did that, and we tested some different stones and everything. Because if you get a low bid on say a material bid, if you're not happy with that, you have to show a logical reason why you're not going to accept their bid and you're going to go to another one. And there's like a little checklist you have to check off for reasons why. It's like if you're going to buy a car and so anyway, we don't need it anymore. I think we'll get some good value on it. It's sitting in the conference room down there, and I'd like to, I'm sure an engineering firm is going to scarf that up right away, and we'll get more than our money back. So that's the second item. The third item, the 2001 Leeboy paver. It still runs. I think we'll get some good market value for it. We paid $30,000 for it. 2016, I think. It's going to be, it's beginning, it's like my body, it's the beginning of the end. So I'd like to pay, to auction that off because we're going to rent one from now on. I found out we can get one for about $4,000 a month to rent a brand new one every year. And I'd like to rent it in June, July, and August, and we get a brand new one. If there's a breakdown on the job, we just put it on a trailer and switch it out with the Leeboy company. And I didn't really realize until they did this, but I hooked up with the county, and the county is going to do the same thing. And it's just worth it for us, because if the paver breaks down on the job, our workday ends, the next day. You got to bring it back. The mechanics have to take it apart. So I want to sell this off. I think we're going to get a good price for that. And the last item, is that it?
Is it Crane?
What's that?
crane.
Crane.
Oh, is the crane on that one too?
Yeah.
All right, there's a truck crane. The Venturo truck crane, 15 3/4 ton truck crane. It came standard with our Dodge service truck that we use for the highway department. We've used it once in 4 years, I believe. It's in pretty good shape. It's in the way all the time. So we want to just auction that off too, and I think they go for about $3,000 new. So I just want to get rid of it because it's in the way on our truck, and I don't want it just to sit there rotting away in the garage. So I want to bring some revenue in. And a couple of years ago, you guys approved the selling of the old loader we had at the landfill. I never sold it because we had the storms, and I needed it at the landfill, and then I got orders from the DEC to get off the landfill, so I didn't want to keep driving the loader, so I kept it there, and it's in really good shape, and I'm going to go through with that sale now. That's already approved. And I want to get the revenue from all these items to pay for the next two items that I want to purchase, which I'll go into next.
Okay. So, all right, so that's the end of the auction items. So is there any board comment on the auction items?
Just a quick question for Nancy. We're okay with him putting the loader on there from a resolution from a couple of years ago?
Yes.
Okay.
Any public comment? Okay. Someone want to read? Sure. Read it?
Sure. Make a motion to adopt a resolution for authorization to offer items for sale through Auctions International, Inc. Whereas by letter dated January 31st, 2024, Richard T. Othmer, Highway Superintendent, has requested to dispose of one, a 2016 Tyler model number RX-29, serial number 10028 sieve shaker, two, a Venturo model number CT2004FB, serial number 23688 truck crane, number 3, a 2001 L8500T paver VIN 1041200004488, 4, a 2009 2-yard capacity Smith spreader, serial number 10600, 5, a 2013 Swenson 4-yard capacity spreader, serial number 0212-6096, and 6, a 2-yard capacity harder spreader, hereinafter collectively referred to as the equipment. And whereas the town board wishes to authorize the highway department to use the services of Auctions International to offer the equipment for sale to third parties, or if there are no purchasers, to scrap the equipment in exchange for its metal value. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Kent authorizes the highway department to offer the equipment for sale through Auctions International, and be it further resolved that if the offer of sale through Auctions International results in no sale of the equipment, highway department is authorized to scrap the equipment for its metal value. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, the next two items are the purchase. First item is a Cat mini excavator. We purchased model 30407A. We purchased one 2 years ago. I've been using it in Lake Carmel for great success for the ditches. I can send 3-man crews out with a pickup, a dump truck, and the excavator. And we're opening up ditches that haven't been, there's been so many buried culvert pipes, especially in Lake Carmel, and the water wasn't draining properly and it gets under the road and freezes it. So we've had really good success with it. So I want to get one for the western side of Kent. I like them because they're very mobile. They can be pulled with a pickup, and I don't have to block off the whole road, and I can just send a 3-man crew out. I got a guy in the ditch with a shovel, a machine operator, and a guy in a little dump truck, and they're very effective. So I want to get one of those. New from CAT, on the government list, it's $74,550, which is basically the cost of a new pickup nowadays. And then to go with it from is an 18-foot trailer, the same exact trailer I had for the other one. That goes for $9,901. $9,901. That I want to purchase from Hudson River Truck and Trailer. It's not on the government list, but I gave 3 comparables of the equivalent trailer for different dealers, and I'm getting higher prices, and they're even further away if I had to go pick it up. But I've had great luck with Hudson River, so if I can't find it on the government list, I mean, you can find it in Ohio or something like that, but, you know, or Indiana, but to get it local like that, and they service it all. So I'd like permission to purchase these 2 items here. And it is for, you know, productivity, and the ditches have been neglected for so long in the town, and it's really helping our drainage improve. Any questions on that?
Richard, do you have a sense of how much you're going to raise out of the auctions items? Like what fraction of this is going to come into you?
I'm going to say I'm going to get at least 2/3 of this.
So I'm going to back up a little bit further. Do you have the money in your budget right now? Did we budget for this expenditure, $74,000?
You did not budget for it, but
So you are counting on, the sale of the auction items to make this purchase.
Yeah.
So I've had issue with this before, you know, I'd rather see the auction go through, know what the dollar amount, I don't like to blindly say, here's money out of the general fund, but we don't know what that amount is. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, but what I would do is, if it comes down to like an amount of like $20,000 or $25,000, you know, I would pick it off another line.
And I'm not saying that we wouldn't approve that funding, but we don't have a dollar amount to put against it right now. It could be, you know, we might send that everything to scrap metal if nobody bids on it. We don't know that dollar amount until we see it go through the auction. What's the time frame for your auctions international?
We scheduled him, he'll be here in March. I want to get this thing working right in April, because
That's
when you do
just-
ditches, if you do them in the fall, all you're leaving is a mud ditch. You get all the winter rains and all the spring rains, and you don't get a chance to have the vegetation grow in the ditch, and they wash out. I mean, it's the price of a pickup.
I agree.
If I gotta use some of my CHIPS money, I will, which you're allowed to use on this to cover it. I can do that. I'm gonna be very particular this year with the blacktop. I'm not gonna spend the way I did the last couple of years with, you know.
You did a lot of mileage the last couple of years. You knocked
Yeah.
off a lot. You know what, I think I'll be okay with this, because you're right, this is the cost of a pickup truck. If not even for a heavy-duty pickup truck, this might be cheaper than what we're paying for them right now. But I'm gonna repeat this, and I think I've had this conversation with you before. You need to plan what equipment you're buying and get that in the budget so we can approve that through the budget process. Even if you're anticipating the sale of stuff through auction, we can get that auction going. We could have auctioned this stuff off last October if we'd known that and been ready to go on January 1 for this purchase. You know,
Yeah, in
we're
the
putting,
fall, I was just-
we're betting on the horse here, but we don't even know if we're keeping the horse yet or not. You know what I mean? It's.
No, you have a valid point. In the fall, I was rebuilding Long Hill Road, which disappeared. I just really didn't have time to do an inventory of the yard, you know?
But budget-wise, you know, you're doing your budget through the summer, you gotta anticipate, that's where we need a budget. I hate taking stuff out of general fund mid-season, because
Well, when I
if we
approached
did
you-
that with every department, we'd be going there all the time. We're trying
You had
to,
asked me to forego equipment purchases.
And I did.
To buy for the road, so I did that.
I asked you to put them in your budget, remember? I said, budget for your equipment, and we can approve it that way instead of using bond money for your equipment. Use the
Okay.
bond money to pay for blacktop. But we can budget for the equipment. I'm not afraid to do that, but you know, it gives us an opportunity to have a more discussion over it and plan for it, and plan ahead for it.
Oh, no, I can give you a nice list of things I need.
I'm sure you can. You just gotta give us a
I was
priority
trying to-
number on them
I thought you wanted like a
also.
two-year skip of stuff, but I mean, our big trucks, we're doing a lot of rebuilding on them now. We're doing a lot of work on them to keep them going. But I'll give you, for instance, the 5500 Dodges, the trucks that we were buying them 4 years ago at $78,000 a piece with a plow and a sander on it. They go for $118,000 right now.
It's crazy.
In 4 years, they went up that much money. Because our plan was in the beginning, when we had to replace the really old ones we had, we were buying 4 of those to one big international. And that's how we were able to replenish the fleet so well. But
And it's not even that, you know, we're dealing with this with the county, there's still a time wait on it left from COVID. You're not getting them as quickly when you order them as we used to either. You know, there's a lapse on when these things get delivered, so. You know, and that's kind of why when I asked you how soon the auction was, I don't want not getting this to be held up with the fact that by the time the auction comes around in March and then what do you have to wait a month or so for the bids to come in? You're gonna be into the season where you should have already been using this piece of equipment. So I think I'm okay with moving forward with it, but I would ask that you be
I appreciate it.
conscious of the fact that we'd rather budget for this and be planning ahead and not.
no, it's
Right.
fine. The thing we never had here, we never had a fleet replacement program. And we're coming into the point now where the first 5500s we bought, I think they're just turning 10th birthday this year. So those trucks, to get your best value, should be sold between 10 and 12, 13 years at the maximum. And because that's when you get your best buyback value and you spend your least amount of maintenance on them. I mean, 10 years ago, it looked like that TV show, Junkyard Wars, in the garage. We had, I think the average age of our truck was 26 years old. It was ridiculous. So I'd like to do a fleet replacement program. I'd like to get a big truck every year or do two 5500s. Our loaders, our backhoes, our excavators, all that excavation equipment is in great shape. And those items, you budget for 25 years. Our mowing tractors, I believe this year they're off the lease list, and we own them now. They're 5 years old, and we own two really good John Deere mowing tractors. But I'm all for a fleet replacement program because you do save money, but you have to be in a rhythm, and you really can't skip a year. You have to do something every year or else it catches up with you. And that's what Jamie and you were here right in the very beginning. We got caught up the first few years. We had a bond of $500,000, almost $1 million for just equipment. We had 6 trucks in one snowstorm in the shop. It was ridiculous. But I mean, our fleet it's going good now. We have a really good mechanic crew. I'm really happy with the way the maintenance shop turned out. We've got a bunch of really good, motivated young guys, and it's kind of fun watching them work. You know.
Good.
So I'll give you a nice little list in August.
Sue Kotzer, Town of Kent. On the bottom of this memorandum, January 31st, 2024, Rich has here that states, I have the funds in my budget to cover the cost. But yet he's saying that the sale of these items for the auction is going to cover the cost. So he already stated that they're in his budget.
I do, and I fall back on,
Well-
if necessary, on my CHIPS money.
So, yeah, he can expend CHIPS money for highway equipment if
In
he
the
so
budget.
chooses,
Okay.
which we have, or we're gonna be getting, what, March-ish or whenever it comes
I
in.
go up March 6th.
Yeah, so, but, you know, I've had this conversation, and it's my opinion, it's not, I don't know if I represent the whole board, that I'd like to see CHIPS money spent on blacktop. I think it's
All
a
right, so
much,
he can spend
He
the
can.
CHIPS money on this
he can.
Has to have a 10-year lifespan.
$74,000 item. What else was I going to say?
But hopefully he won't have to, because hopefully we'll do so well in auction that we'll get all of the money.
I have other revenues. We usually make about 10 grand from our metal container. I let the residents bring in metal, and they throw it in our container, and we sell it. And I make money on that. Usually we get about 10 grand something by the end of the year. We have a 30-yard dumpster. The contractor brings it in. When I call him, it's full. He brings it back and just mails us a check. So we do have other sources of revenue.
Thank you. Also, does this have to go out to bid, any of these items? What is the,
He explained that
if it's
they're
on the
on,
government list, it doesn't have
yes.
to go out to bid? That's what I thought.
The trailer, there are 3 comparables, which I'm required to get, and the CAT is on, HO Pen is on the government list.
it doesn't meet the threshold for the bids, no, for sealed bids.
All right, I remember that, thank you. The banner was very nice.
What's that? Banner?
On Thorn's Mills.
Which banner?
You don't know what's there.
I don't know. All right, so that's that. All right, so we got to
Okay.
vote on that.
Can we vote on this? Okay, thank you.
Okay. I make a motion to adopt a resolution authorizing purchase of Cat Mini excavator for the Highway Department. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Kent has received a request from the Town Highway Superintendent to purchase, 1, a 2024 Caterpillar Mini excavator, the excavator, and 2, a 2024 CAM Superline 18-foot equipment trailer, the trailer. And whereas the town board has been provided with a proposal for the excavator from HO Pen Company in the amount of $74,550 pursuant to U.S. government contract, and whereas Section 103, parenthesis 16 of the General Municipal Law exempts from competitive bidding purchase contracts for apparatus, materials, equipment, and supplies through the use of contracts let by the United States or any agency thereof, any state or any other political subdivision or district. And whereas the town board is in receipt of 4 quotes for the trailer, with the lowest quote being from Hudson River Truck and Trailer for an overall cost of $9,901. And whereas in accordance with the town's procurement policy and the general municipal law, the town board wishes to authorize the highway department to purchase the excavator and trailer consistent with the above referenced proposals. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Kent hereby authorizes and approves the following purchases. 1, a Caterpillar mini excavator for a price not to exceed $74,550 from H.O. Penn Company pursuant to U.S. government contract. And 2, a 2024 CAM Superline 18-foot equipment trailer for a price not to exceed $9,901?
Yes.
From Hudson River Truck and Trailer. And be it further resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Kent hereby authorizes and directs the supervisor to execute any and all documents necessary to give effect to this resolution. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. I just want to add one more thing. I forgot to mention it. We didn't get it yet, but we're cleaning out the parts room. We have a plethora of truck parts, the trucks we don't own anymore. So Matt is putting those together, and those are going to be coming to you either next month or in April to sell all that stuff too, because, I mean, we have expensive parts that we just don't need, and they're all bought and paid for, they're in the inventory. So that I have future revenue lines coming.
How does that work? I mean, these are parts. Do you sell them in lots? Like, say you have 50 windshield wipers that fit a truck. Do you sell the whole lot? We're not going to sell
You
each small
could.
item individually, are we?
You separate, like, we'll show them, like, you separate the stuff that it's obvious that they're needed, and, you know, they're a desired object, and then some stuff you'll have, you know, a bunch of air filters, you know, for a 1984 International, and, you know, and meanwhile, Chautauqua, New York will
Yeah,
still
buy
have one in
them all.
operation, and they'll buy that, so that kind of stuff is selling a lot, but, you know, we're going through the parts room, and there's just stuff buried there that people didn't even know it was there, so it's getting a good cleaning.
You'd have a garage sale.
But I'm gonna watch the CHIPS money to see how this plays out, and if you want, what I'll do is, when everything is done, I'll just send you up a report. So, and can I talk about one more quick thing? I just want to give a quick report on the South Lake Louise Bridge project with Bridge New York. I've been working with Chris on it, now I'm working with Ann on it. It seems we got the grant for just about $1 million in 2022. The culvert's falling apart, it's in bad shape. The DEC has come out with some new regulations that ties the whole project in to the earthen dam on the road, on Lake Louise Road. And what I'm being told, it's got to be done simultaneously with the bridge project, which increases the price drastically, which infuriates me. Ann and I got to thank Ann, she's been working with me all day today, yesterday, because we just found out Friday, trying to locate some emergency FEMA money to see if we can get the funding for this. I'm going to be going up to Poughkeepsie late this week or next week to talk to the Bridge New York people themselves, because we have the money, we did our estimates to redo the little bridge. I want to see if we can break it into phase 1 and phase 2 and do the dam part. What they want, they're planning for the 150-year storm. I'm worried about the storm 5 days from now, you know, and I'm just thinking they're going to complicate it so bad that it's like what I told Ann today. It's like you have a roof, a front porch in your house is falling apart. You have the lumber and you have the money to fix the front porch, but they're not letting you do it until you put new shingles on the roof that might leak 15 years from now. And it's just, the bureaucracy is just so encumbersome. It's really frustrating and takes the heart out of you. So I'm hoping there's not going to be a delay and in the Lake Louise. Ann is doing great work with FEMA and the state now, and she's going to be contacting the state senator and the assembly person. That was kind of a shot that my gut that really, it really hurt, you know, because I was all psyched to go. We were supposed to go out to bid in February, and I feel sorry for the residents there, because if that bridge goes, it's going to be a real inconvenience, and I don't want it to go without, you know, I don't want anyone to get hurt. So we put out, tomorrow morning, we're putting 5-ton weight limit signs on the bridge, just so passenger cars can go over it. I don't want to see an oil truck or a concrete truck or something else going over it. They're going to have to use the lower road. But I know Chris is working with Putnam County with the middle and the upper dam, which the DEP, and Chris is trying to, you know, keep the lake level, you know, nice for the residents. But what the residents don't understand is that The DEC wants all these lakes to go back to streams. If they had their way, they would turn every man-made lake in Kent into a stream again. And so, you know, anyway, I just wanted to give an update on that. And that's it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Rich.
Can I backtrack and ask what's probably a trivial question about the first resolution we passed?
Richie?
Yeah, the original provisional resolution for the stop signs was for 1 year, and it was dated March 21st, 2023, so we just amended that to add the second stop sign on the other side of the road. Does that mean that's only good through March 21st or March 20th of this year?
Yes.
And then we would need to re-up for both?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, you know, I missed that. We did it we did that because they did one of these like on Putnam Drive a couple years ago. And it turned out to be a disaster because in the winter, everyone was sliding down, they were coming to a full stop. So I forgot all about that.
Yeah, so we should just be aware that in, another 5-6 weeks, this would have to be re-upped, right? If we're gonna keep.
Or made
the two stop
permanent
signs.
if
Yeah, if it's
Yeah.
working, make a recommendation to make it a permanent, so it's not provisional.
Okay, sorry about that.
Oh, it's nothing to apologize for, I just want to keep an eye on the date. Thanks.
Our next item is for the courts. Our first for the courts, we have to accept 2 resignations for Judge Curtis and Judge Yushkov. Nancy Urimko and Annette Flaherty have given us their resignations. Any comments?
Nope.
Okay. I'm gonna do that one first.
Make a motion to adopt a resolution accepting resignation of Justice Court clerks. Whereas Nancy Yaremko and Annette P. Flaherty have submitted their resignations as Kent Town Justice Court clerks, the town board wishes to accept the resignations of Nancy Yaremko and Annette P. Flaherty. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board accepts the resignations of Nancy Yaremko and Annette P. Flaherty with regret and with thanks for their years of service to the town. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then the next item for the courts is to hire Audrey Wilson, part-time clerk, to fill the evening hours for court, and then to hire Brittany Lauer as part-time court clerk. So Aubrey Wilson would be, her rate is $30 an hour, and Brittany Lauer is 25. Lower.
Is it
Lower.
Brittany Lowe or?
Lower.
Yeah, you
Lauer.
got it spent
I
it's spelled
didn't-
2 different ways.
Yeah, I think it's Brittany Lowe.
Is it low or low or lower?
I will tell
it's
you.
low.
Low,
So there's
okay.
no R on it. And it was 30.25.
Yeah, sure. Make a motion to adopt the resolution hiring of Justice Court clerks. Whereas the town of Kent is seeking to fill the positions of part-time court clerks for the town Justice Court, and whereas Audrey Wilson and Brittany Lau have submitted resumes which reflect the proper qualifications to fill the positions of part-time court clerk, and by letters dated January 31st, 2024, and February 1st, 2024, Judge Curtis and Judge Duskoff have recommended the hiring of Ms. Wilson and Ms. Lowe. And now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes the hiring of Audrey Wilson at a rate of $30 per hour and Brittany Lowe at a rate of $25 per hour as part-time court clerks. And be it further resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes the supervisor to execute any and all documents necessary to give effect to this resolution. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Our next item, we are moving on to, sorry, I'm trying to keep everything on here, is for recreation. So our first is to hire a new employee. I am asking for the board to hire Juliette Kazari, as I want to get her title correct because this is from,
Recreation leader.
but it's,
Provisional
I'm sorry, provisional
Provisional
recreational.
recreation leader.
At a salary of $50,000 a year. Effective January 13th. Any comments, questions from the board?
Nope.
Any public comment? Okay.
I make a motion to pass a resolution authorizing the hiring of a provisional recreation leader, whereas the town of Kent is seeking to fill the position of provisional recreation leader for the Recreation Department, and whereas Juliet Kazari has submitted a resume that demonstrates the qualifications necessary to be appointed as provisional recreation leader. Now therefore be resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes the hiring of Juliet Kazari as provisional recreation leader at an annual salary of $50,000 effective as of January 13th, 2024, and be it further resolved, the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes the supervisor to execute any and all documents necessary to give effect to this resolution. I make this motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Then we have at Ryan's Field, we need to redo our garage doors. They are in desperate need of being fixed. So we went out, we've gotten 3 bids, and I'm asking for the board tonight to approve the lowest bid, which is Bill Reynolds Garage Doors, for a total amount of $4,450.
Make a motion to adopt a resolution accepting a proposal for garage door repairs at Edward Ryan Memorial Park. Whereas there is a need to repair the garage doors at Edward Ryan Memorial Park, and whereas their Recreation and Parks Department has requested quotes for the repair and received 3 quotes in response, and whereas Bill Reynolds Jr. Garage Doors, Inc. has submitted the lowest proposal for the repairs in the total amount of $4,450, and whereas the town board of the town of Kent wishes to accept the proposal submitted by Bill Reynolds Jr. Garage Doors, Inc. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby accepts the proposal of Bill Reynolds Jr. Garage Doors, Inc. to repair the garage doors at Edward Ryan Memorial Park, consistent with the attached proposal at a cost not to exceed $4,450, and be it further resolved that the town supervisor is hereby authorized and directed to execute any and all agreements and other documents necessary to give effect to this resolution consistent with the terms hereof, all in form satisfactory to the supervisor and the town attorney. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And you want to take the first, it's for Eustis Park for the EAF.
Okay. So we did act on the part 1 of the EAF, secret for Eustis Park. But since then, there were some changes and additions or sort of clarifications of what the plan will be. And we also now have parts 2 and 3. And so I think the recommendation was that we pass a new resolution related to those changes and then forward that on to the grant agency and the DEC. That's my understanding. Okay. Okay, so any comments? All right. Want me to go ahead and read this one?
Yeah, it's a long one.
And near and dear to my heart. We've been trying to get this under contract now for the funding for what, close to 2 years?
Yes.
So I'm very excited that we are on the brink of having that in place and getting started on the work. So I make a motion to adopt a resolution regarding the lead agency for the Eustis Park expansion project. Whereas the town of Kent desires to improve Eustis Park by constructing a bathroom facility and pavilion, multi-use sport court, new parking lot, and reconfiguring the existing parking lot and repaving the existing basketball court, hereinafter referred to as the project. And whereas pursuant to 6 NYCRR 617.6, the town board previously established itself as lead agency for the project by resolution dated June 6, 2023, and issued a negative declaration by resolution dated November 14, 2023. And whereas since November 14, 2023, Insight Engineering on behalf of the town board has reviewed and updated the full environmental assessment form, FEAF, in accordance with SECRA, and as such, the town seeks to circulate an updated notice of intent to be lead agency, parenthesis notice, by mail and email to all involved and interested agencies who shall be given 30 days to deliver any comments in response to this updated notice that any such other involved or interested entity may have regarding the town board taking on the lead agency role. And whereas the town board considers the proposed project to be an unlisted action pursuant to the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, SECRA, 6 NYCRR Part, Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of Kent classifies the project as an unlisted action pursuant to standards in the New York State Environmental Quality Review Act, and be it further resolved that the supervisor of the Town of Kent hereby is authorized to sign the updated FEAF, and be it further resolved that it is the intention of the Town Board of the Town of Kent to declare itself as lead agency for secret coordinated review of this action. And be it further resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Kent hereby directs the coordination of intent for lead agency designation with all involved agencies for the project through the service of a notice of intent, indicating that the Town Board of the Town of Kent seeks to be designated as lead agency for this action. I make this motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Our last item for recreation tonight is we are joining in the Little League group to help grow our baseball and softball programs. And in order to be a member in the Little League, we need to get an additional policy for our insurance. It's a total of $1,961 for the accident policy that we need to add for recreation. They require something else.
It's interesting. It's not that much though, is that for the year?
Yep.
All right.
Yep. I make a motion for a resolution regarding insurance renewal. Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Kent is in receipt of an accident policy proposal for the Town of Kent from Brown and Brown for a term ending 1/29/2025, proposal. And whereas the Town Board of the Town of Kent wishes to accept the policy at a premium rate of $1,961, and now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Kent approves and accepts the proposal from Brown and Brown for an accident policy at the premium rate of $1,961. And be it further resolved that the town supervisor is hereby authorized and directed to execute any and all arrangements, and other documents necessary to give effect to this resolution, consistent with the terms thereof, all in the form satisfactory to the supervisor and the town attorney. I make this motion.
Just one correction. We're gonna strike the word renewal out of the title.
Yes, and then second correction, it's actually going to be effective February 7th because we
Oh,
haven't signed it
February
yet,
7th.
so.
Yeah.
So with those corrections,
It was
I make
the-
that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great. So next, we have a couple of items for the planning board. First is they would like us to appoint a new chair and vice chair. Let me just see, is this all in the same? What is on? Okay, and then, so we're going to appoint Simon Carey as the chair and Tom Ferrone as the vice chair. And we're also going to reappoint Jackie Bouchard to a new term that will end 12/31/2030. That's what it says on here.
That's all.
It says to begin January 1st, 2024, and to end on December 31st, 2030.
Are they 6-year terms?
Oh, no, 2030.
Are they 6-year terms, Simon? No, it's usually 7. 7, all right.
I think the problem was that we didn't, I guess we didn't.
I thought you did that at the reorganization at the beginning.
I thought we did as well, but,
I thought we put Tom on as the vice chair on that organizational meeting. I was pretty certain.
no, we didn't, because we
Are you
didn't know
sure?
who was going to be at that point. But I'm pretty sure we did Jackie's. I mean, we
Jackie was
can,
on it to be reappointed.
but this was what I got from Vera saying
All
everything.
right.
So,
Well, it
I mean,
doesn't
we
hurt to
can-
do it.
We can reappoint her. So that was just really on there.
And that is 7 years.
Yes, okay.
All right, I make a motion to pass a resolution appointing chairman, vice chairman, and reappointing member to planning board. Whereas by email dated January 12th, 2024, Vera Patterson of the planning board secretary has advised that the planning board has recommended that Simon Carey be appointed chairman for the 2024 year, Tom Ferrone be appointed vice chairman for the 2024 year, and that Jackie Bouchard be reappointed as a member of the planning board for a term beginning as of January 1st, 2024, and ending December 31st, 2030. It's scary to say that.
I know,
so
it
far
is.
out. And whereas the town board wishes to accept the recommendations of the planning board, now therefore be it resolved, the town board appoints Simon Carey as chairman of the planning board for the year 2024, appoints Tom Ferone as vice chairman of the planning board for the year 2024, and be it further resolved that Jackie Bashar be reappointed as a member to the planning board for an additional term to expire on December 31st, 2030. I make this motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then we have an email from the planning board on January 23rd asking us to accept an erosion control bond for $75,685.
That's
No, no.
release. That's release. The other
Okay,
one's
hold on, wait, which, oh, I have two
just
of mine.
flipped around.
So which one am I doing first?
No, it's just, they're on the same one. That would release the 75,000 and accept the 16,000,
Okay,
which is backwards, that's all.
okay. So then we are going to accept, let me see your resolution.
Accept this one.
Okay, so we're gonna accept an erosion control bond in the amount of $16,500 and an escrow inspection fee in the amount of $1,000. And then we're going to release an erosion control bond in the amount of $75,685. And accept a maintenance bond in the amount of $1,700. They've both been unanimously agreed upon with the planning board.
Good? Make a motion to pass a resolution releasing and accepting erosion control surety bond and escrow for inspection fee. Whereas the planning board by resolution number 1 of the year 2024 dated January 23rd, 2024 is recommended that the town board, 1, release an erosion control bond in the amount of $75,685. 2, release the remaining inspection fees to the owner of the property located at 186 Gordon Road, Kent, New York, 10512, as shown on the Town of Kent tax map as 31.1-37 and 38. And 3, accept a maintenance bond in the amount of $1,700 from the aforementioned property owner at 186 Gordon Road. And whereas the planning board by resolution number 3 of the year 2024 dated February 1st, 2024 has recommended that the town board accept 1, an erosion control bond in the amount of $16,500 and 2, an escrow inspection fees in the amount of $1,000 from the owner of the property located at 132 Gypsy Trail Road, Kent, New York, 10512, as shown in the Town of Kent tax map as 4.-2-62. And whereas the town board wishes to accept the recommendations as set forth in the planning board resolutions number 1 and 3, and now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of Kent hereby accepts the recommendation of the planning board and hereby authorizes the release of the remaining escrow review account and erosion control bond and acceptance of the maintenance bond from the owner of 186 Gordon Road, and accepts the erosion control bond and escrow of inspection fees from the owner of 132 Gypsy Trail Road. I make this motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now I go back because they're out of order.
Okay. All right, so now we have from the zoning board of appeals to appoint Gordon Mochio as chairman and Joseph Greco as vice chairman. Any comments? Does anyone want to?
Make a motion to pass a resolution appointing the chairman and vice chairman to the zoning board of appeals, whereas by email dated January 12th, 2024, the town board has been advised that the zoning board of appeals has recommended that Gordon Mochio be, is that it? Mochio? Mochio, be appointed as chairman for the 2024 year, and that Joseph Greco be appointed as vice chairman for the 2024 year. And whereas the town board wishes to accept the zoning board of appeals recommendations, now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby appoints Gordon Mochio as chairman of the zoning board of appeals for the 2024 year and appoints Joseph Greco as vice chairman of the zoning board of appeals for the 2024 year. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're getting there.
Next, we have for the Lake Carmel Fire Department, they have asked us to approve everyone who was qualified for the 2023 Service Awards Program. Someone wants to read that.
I can, if you like.
Yes, please, thank you.
Okay, I make a motion to adopt a resolution regarding approval of Lake Carmel Fire Department Service Award recipients for the year 2023. Whereas the town of Kent is currently in receipt of a list of members of the Lake Carmel Fire Department who have qualified as service award recipients for the year 2023, the list, which list is annexed here to and made a part hereof. And whereas the Lake Carmel Fire Department has requested that the town board approve the list, and the town board wishes to approve the list, now therefore it be it resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby approves the list of service award recipients for the Lake Carmel Fire Department as annexed hereto for 2023. And be it further resolved that the town board of the town of Kent hereby authorizes the supervisor to execute any and all documents necessary to give effect to this resolution. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion to add an item to the Lake Carmel Fire Department.
Second.
Okay.
All in favor? Aye.
Oh, all in favor?
Okay.
Okay. We have been given the contract for the 2024, for the Lake Carmel Fire Department, so we need to set the public hearing tonight. So we will set it for 7 PM on February, can we do February 20th? Is that
You have
enough?
to ask
Is that
Lauren
enough time?
if she has enough time to publish it.
So it'll go, it'll be in next week's paper, that's not enough
I don't think so.
time. It'll be the paper on
The first meeting in March.
The 8th?
Well, week of the 12th, it won't be in the paper until then,
It'll be on the 12th, it'll be in the paper?
that week. I think their paper comes out Tuesday, the 13th.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the 20th is day 6. If you do Tuesday, not Monday. Is that enough time?
It's a minimum of 5 days, I think, notice for the public hearing, so cutting it a little close is,
So it's day,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's up to you. You want to get it done?
Can we just do it on March 5th?
can't do it March 5th, just to be safe.
Gives
I'm looking
people
at
more
you.
time.
It is what it is. I don't make the rules.
Okay.
I'd take it tomorrow.
Push it.
okay, all right. Then we will do the March 5th meeting.
We'll be able to vote on it that night unless there's issues with it.
I think
Yeah.
so, yeah.
Okay. Someone want to read the,
No, I didn't look for it yet.
I don't, okay, you do.
Make a motion to adopt a resolution in regard to the Lake Carmel Fire Department calendar year 2024 public hearing. Whereas the Kent Town Board has negotiated for fire protective services with the Lake Carmel Fire Department, LCFD, for the calendar year 2024. A copy of said contract is annexed here too, and whereas the town board wishes to set a public hearing on the aforementioned contract. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board of the town of Kent hereby sets a public hearing on said contract between the town of Kent and the LCFD to be held at the Town Hall in the town of Kent, New York at 7 PM on March 5th, 2024. And be it further resolved, that the town clerk publish or cause to be published a public notice in the official newspaper of the town of Kent of said public hearing at least 5 days prior hereto. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Our last main item on the agenda tonight is for our Labor Council to renew our contract with them for another year, or, I'm sorry, for 2 years.
Aren't they going to come in and talk?
Next Wednesday.
Okay.
Monday?
Thought they were going to come in and talk for the public hearing.
Yes, so I'm gonna have to tell them that we changed the.
Okay.
So I'm asking tonight that we approve the renewal for our Labor Council. Someone want to read the,
Make a motion to adopt a resolution to reappoint the Labor Council. Whereas the professional services such as legal services are exempt from the public bidding requirements of the general municipal law, as well as the town's procurement policy. And whereas the town board is in receipt of a proposal to renew its retainer with Romer, Wallens, Gold, and Minot LLP as Labor Council. And whereas the town board wishes to accept the proposal and renew its retainer with said firm for Part 5 legal services labor, now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Kent finds it to be in the best interests of the town to reappoint Romer, Wallens, Gold, and Minot LLP for Part 5 legal services labor. Further resolved that the supervisor is hereby authorized to enter into any documents necessary to give effect to this resolution. I make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Chris, you're up with vouchers.
Oh, I see somebody's list. I just lost mine in the shuffle here. Thank you.
You have a lot.
That's correspondence, right? All right, I asked the board to approve the following vouchers from February 6, 2024. Alapache, $26,626.10 for salt, $27,111.06 for salt, $27,341.35 for salt. Axon Enterprise, $36,107.95 for body camera lease for 2024. Central Auto and Truck Parts, $4,812.90 for truck parts. Chemung Supply, $13,706.80 for pipes, and $23,472 for pipes. Comp Alliance, New York State, $13,640 for workers' comp annual assessment. Edmunds GovTech, $5,178.22 for 2024 IPS maintenance. GAR Associates, $35,000. There's an extra zero in there. I'm guessing it's $35,000 and not $350,000. Reassessment contract billing. GenServe, $5,115 for generators maintenance service. Global Montello Group, $3,289.53 for diesel. Insight Engineering, $4,458.60 for Bridge, New York. $3,788 for Eustis Park. Kent Public Library, $566,686 for their 2024 budget. Long Island Sanitation Equipment, $248,924 for a sanitation truck. Magna 5MS, $7,469.33 for network services for January. NYSEG, $4,782.79 for electric for the police department. New York SID, $3,308.50 for LGRMIF Project Part 1. New York State Municipal Workers' Comp, $41,788.75 for first quarter workers' comp. Nicholas Mancuso, $2,450 for transition consulting. Pitney Bowles Reserve Accounting. I'm guessing that's accounting. $2,000 postage advance payment. Recore Recognition Systems, $3,744.96 for software maintenance for the police. Ring Squared, $3,345.82 for telephone services for January. Robert Green Auto and Truck, $3,810.70 for plow parts. $16,822 for a plow. Spain Agency, $82,246.68 for an insurance installment. Transaxle, $4,046.81 for truck parts. Wind Waste, $9,380.95 for Lake Carmel garbage. $7,685.69 for Lake Carmel garbage. $7,369.63 for Lake Carmel garbage. $4,678.77 for Lake Carmel garbage. $7,888.01 for Lake Carmel garbage. These last ones are from 2023 still. Amchar Wholesale, $5,552.64 for ammo. Semco Water, $319.09 for Water District Number 1 in November. $3,526.05 for Water District Number 1 in December. Diesel Performance of Millbrook, $3,583.45 for truck repair. Eline Financial Services, $7,431.56 for the credit card for December. Global Montello Group, $4,333.66 for diesel. Insight Engineering, $2,592 for Eustis Park. Lawson Products, $3,873.24 for a storage cabinet. Nicholas Mancuso, $2,400 for transition consulting. Nycomco, $8,129 for police radios, parts and service. Royal Carting, $6,514.41 for recycling garbage December. State Comptroller, $38,015 for Justice Court for November. Town of Kent Municipal Repairs, $22,631.13 for chargebacks from Highway November. So $45,768.63 for chargebacks for Highway October. $4,427.48 for chargebacks for sanitation for October. Wind waste, $8,966.70 for Lake Carmel garbage. I ask the board to approve as read.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Announcements. I have one announcement that the town board was made aware that Assemblyman Matt Slater has been able to secure the funding to get the remainder of 52 paved next year. So I know this was a long time coming, and I'm not entirely thrilled that it's not being done in 2024, that it's being done in 2025, but at least it's in sight that we will finally have all of 52 in Kent paved. So we're very excited for that. It will take the next year to get all of the engineering stuff done. The state has a lot of work to do before they can actually,
Bids have to go out, but thank you very much to Assemblyman Slater.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
You're here.
Really needed it bad.
A long time coming.
So it's funny, when we had the first section paved, I was down at the plaza like the day after they got done, and somebody stopped me down at the plaza and says, what about just past the intersection on 52? And that's like the roughest spot. As soon as the pavement ends, you hit the potholes, but it's great that it's gonna go all the way through
Thank
Kent,
God.
right?
Thank God.
Fine.
Finally. Better late than never, I
Yeah,
guess, but
it
I
is
wish
what
it
it is.
was sooner. So, and just for the residents that call my office, it is a state road, the town highway. We cannot go out and fill potholes. I keep getting phone calls telling me just to send the guys out to fill the potholes, but
Call the
Angela will tell you,
DOT.
we are not allowed to. I have been calling the DOT and telling them.
They should too. The
Yes,
residents
but-
should call the DOT.
Yes, and they have filled some, but we unfortunately cannot go out there and fill the potholes. We wish we could. I would go out there. Stop the phone calls. That's all I have for right now. I know you have.
On Saturday, February 24th is the second annual Town of Kent Night at the Danbury Hat Tricks. They will be playing the Elmira River Sharks that night at Danbury Ice Arena. The information and where to get tickets is on the Town Rec Department website. Use the code KENT24 after checkout, and you will get the discounted tickets. I believe they go from $16 a ticket down to $10. And you can buy adult and or children tickets. And the website is danburyhattricks.com. You can forego going to the town website, but even though it will be on there, you can go right to the Hat Tricks website and same thing. Don't click on the first thing. That sends you to like the official ticket reseller of the Danbury Hat Tricks. They go for like $40 on there. I don't know who would pay $40, but I'm sure some people do. But if you go to the official one,
I mean,
on the
it's
bottom,
worth $40. Let's not.
it is a
let's
lot
not
of
try to
fun. It is a fun night. So if you bring everybody you can, it's a lot of fun. And if you've never seen a Hat Tricks game, as I said in the previous meeting, the easiest way to explain it is like the Hudson Valley Renegades, but it's on ice.
Thank
That's
you.
all I have.
Leanne, do you have some?
I always have something for the library. So a couple of volunteer opportunities. There's going to be a Make a Bird Feeder workshop at the library on Wednesday, February 21st from 10:30 to 1 for grades 5 through 12. And they are looking for teen volunteers to help with that event. And they can earn service credits. I guess that's towards a diploma of distinction or something in the school, the service credits? I'm not
You
sure.
can also get for NHS, National Honor Society. My daughter had to go through that.
Great, thank you for clarifying. So that's an exciting opportunity. Also, I think anybody can do this. You can go down to the library and pick up supplies to make Valentines for seniors. You can pick up supplies anytime through February 9th. You can also bring cards that you make at home to the library for this program. And there will be homework help. So some Carmel High School students, National Honor Society students are there to provide help with homework, not tutoring, but homework assistance on Wednesdays from 4:30 to 6:30. It's a drop-in program, you don't need to register. And a couple other fun things going on. For example, a family drum circle for all ages. Come and make a little noise in the library. That's something we don't normally get to do. February 7th at 5:30. That's a Wednesday. Open to all. They'll provide the instruments. And there's much more on the website. Thanks.
I'm good.
Are you good?
Oh, yeah.
Any public comment? Don't all rush up at once.
I make a motion to go into executive session.
Do you?
Is this for the end of the night?
Yes,
Yes.
this is to end the night, so if you have anything you want to say, now's your time.
Yeah, open mic.
I was looking on your website, I couldn't find a code.
Yeah, speaking on the microphone, state your name.
That's my first time, I don't know. My name is Jim Wright, resident here in Carmel. I was looking for town codes as far as the prefabricated sheds, because Mooney came to my house and I told him that according to what I've heard, my shed is within specification, but I don't see it here.
Well, you're in luck right now.
I've spoken to him before.
He would be the one to answer the question, so. You're in Kent though, correct? You said Carmel, just want to make sure that.
Bill Walters, Building Inspector, Town of Kent. This gentleman came into my office a couple of months ago. He's been directed by the courts to come to the town board to get permission to keep a temporary storage unit. It's not a prefab shed. Zoning code says temporary structures are not allowed. And he's been to court several times, getting ready to go back to court, I believe. And the judge has asked him to come to the town board to waive that requirement. So the pre-sheds that you see in there, those are sheds. Your temporary structure is not a shed. It's a tent-like structure, okay? And by the zoning code, they're not allowed in the zoning code. Has nothing to do with the building code or anything else like that.
I didn't see that in the
Yeah,
zoning.
but your tent-like structure is considered a temporary structure, and that's why they're not
Is in the
allowed.
code that temporary
It-
structures are not allowed?
Correct, it's in the zoning code.
Okay.
It's in the zoning code.
But so is gazebos, everybody has a gazebo now. It's temporary, it's not bolted to the floor or anything.
Gazebos are, if they're larger than 8 by 10, they require a permit. Okay, you're temporary, and the gazebo is not temporary structure once you fasten it down to the ground. Again, this is an argument you need between the zoning board and the courts, and you need to plead your, I mean, you can plead your case here to the town board, right?
Well, I'm just
But-
doing this as struggle, I'm just trying to get more information.
Right, but gazebos are not considered a temporary structure. Your tent-like structure is definitely temporary.
But what about the snow grading also? Remember we spoke about that?
That would be in the building code. You don't comply with that because the zoning code oversteps that. It's just not allowed. If it was allowed, then you would have to build it to the building code. You're not there yet. You can't get there because the zoning code says you're not allowed.
But can I see the zoning codes?
Yeah, it's online. And Mr. Looney's given it to you. The violation that you have quotes the violation.
The section of the code that he's in violation of, right?
Yes.
I didn't see that in any of the paperwork.
It's there, and go to the town, you can go to the town webpage and type in temporary structure, and it'll come right up.
Well, I don't think,
That's
at
sheds.
this point, he's not ready to come to us with it, right? You would say at this point, if he's
The
coming to us.
the judge has told him he needs to come to the town board.
Which is fine, but he's not presenting us with anything here tonight to get to that stage. We don't have pictures, we don't have descriptions, we don't have anything.
I just didn't listen, but if I-
But, so
Yeah, so-
that may be that you eventually come to us, but you're just
Yeah.
not
Right.
to that stage yet.
It's-
You need to get more information. before you come
Is
to
that
us.
even possible, though, to get a waiver from the, a provision of the town code from the town board? I mean, there's no,
That's why he's here.
okay. So, the other option is always going to the zoning board of appeals
Correct.
to appeal the violation? The zoning board of appeals is an agency within the town where you make an application to them when you're aggrieved by a determination of the building inspector or the code enforcement officer. and then you get a hearing in front of them. But if you want a hearing in front of the town board, which I'm not even sure that's an
Right.
appropriate
I
thing.
believe what he's trying to do is get the town to waive all of the temporary structures.
Yeah.
We do a lot of these violations annually. I'm not saying we don't, we do quite a bit of them. Right, they're out there, and we're working to get rid of them. But there is a stipulation in the zoning code that these temporary structures are not allowed.
On the same side, what about greenhouses?
Look, we can sit here and debate every little structure that there is. A greenhouse is a structure. Your tent-like structure is not allowed, period. It's just as simple as that. We've been writing these things for years. Bill Looney's been writing these things up for years.
Yeah. So I guess if you wanted to get in front of the town board, you should write to the supervisor and ask to be put on an agenda, and then come prepared to, state your case,
Right.
why you think either the code should be changed, or you should get a waiver for some reason from the provisions of the town code.
And that's what you're looking to do. You're looking to change the entire code. That's what you're looking to do.
If the structure meets the recommendations, because remember when we spoke, I asked you about the
Again,
surveying and everything.
there are stipulations for temporary structures in the building code, and you are allowed to have a temporary structure if you have a valid building permit. You can have a temporary structure on your property while that permit is being used
And
for
there's a
reconstruction.
definition of temporary structure in
Yeah,
our code?
Yeah.
And you
In the
believe
building code. And there's also a stipulation in the zoning code that says temporary structures are allowed by the building department for as long as you have a building permit. This gentleman does not have a building permit.
So the temporary structure is just there to help you get the permanent structure constructed.
Correct. You may be redoing your house, and that's where you're keeping the material. That's fine. When the permit is done and you've received your CO, the temporary structure goes away. This gentleman does not have a building permit.
I understand.
I don't even know what the hell you're doing.
So the answer is, I think you need to meet again with either Bill Looney or yourself, right? Somebody's got to explain this process to him.
He's been explained several times.
But there's nothing we
He's
can
just
do
not
for him.
gathering it all.
All right, there's nothing we can do.
There's
for you
nothing we
tonight
can do.
at this point.
So you're
Short of
remodeling
changing the
house?
town
Is that what
code.
you're saying?
Oh, we can't do that tonight either.
No,
Yeah.
But I think the
Without a
first thing
permit.
he's got to do, Bill, is,
A permit for what's there.
If you take the sheetrock down, you expose the insulation. You're putting any insulation back in?
I have insulation already there.
Okay, you're not replacing any of it. Again, you're doing a renovation, but I don't know what the hell you're doing.
Just replacing the sheetrock.
Again, but you don't have a permit, so you can't have a temporary structure.
Can I apply for the permit?
No.
I don't know.
You need to come with some type of,
A plan to replace sheetrock? Use a hammer and knock it down.
look, I'm not going to debate this in front of the town board, in front of the public. If you really like to come to the office, you can come, we can debate, come with all the information that we need for a permit.
That's what he wants to do. He wants to apply for a permit.
The
He's gotta do
office
that.
is open, 8
You
to
gotta do it in
4.
your office. You gotta do it in his office during the workday.
I'm not going to sit here and do that here.
When I came to the office before, we didn't.
Right, you came to my office after court, and then I found out afterwards that you were supposed to go to the town board. That's where the judge directed you to come. You wanted me to supervent the whole process by saying, yes, it was allowed.
I wasn't able to get to the board, I was able to come today.
No, the day after the court, you showed up in my office and you wanted me to say yes. And you were supposed to come to the town board because that's where the judge directed you to go.
But right after court, it was in the town meeting.
Going to my office doesn't, it's not a shortcut.
Out of curiosity, this is a question for Nancy. Why would the judge have directed him to come directly to us with that at that point in time?
I really don't know.
think we ought to
I
ask
can't
that
understand
question.
why. I mean, there's no waiver provision from the zoning code, as far as I'm aware. And maybe he thought the gentleman could speak to the town board about changing the town code and allowing temporary structures, but
That would have been a long process
a
anyway.
very long process. So
Correct.
I'm not really sure what we can do for this gentleman.
All right, thank you. Okay. You know that.
Thank you.
You ready? Now I make a motion to go into executive session to discuss contracts.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Everyone have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you on the 20th.